Hello chat and welcome to PaxAriaGaming. This is Reg and we are on part 10 of Wuchang Fallen Feathers. So we're picking up exactly where we left off last time. We had explored this building and are now heading to, I guess, the temple proper once we cross a little bridge. Yeah, we came from the other direction over there. We explored this building. There's a despair priest inside. We took care of him. Took whatever treasure we can find from this particular building. And so now we're going to work our way across to the complex to our right. I'm not going to worry about the little bamboozling thing because it's likely to get me killed. Okay, well, I ended up getting killed anyway, and it wasn't because of the bamboozling little thingy. Yeah, so we want to avoid the cannons. So the two enemies over there manning the cannons. There's an enemy up this little slope. There's some at least a non-hostile guy. I shouldn't be laughing at the poor guy's terror, but oh my God, they make it sound so realistic. He sounds absolutely horrified. Now, well, like I said, there's a tougher enemy up top who's clapping his hands for some reason, and then there are 4 lotus priests that we have to deal with. Just demonstrating again that I can't kill these non-hostile people. This is after one of the patches. So the guy up, there's a bird in here somewhere too. I can always, the little signature bird call is so distinctive that you always know when there's one in the area. So before we do anything, we have to take out the guy up here. Otherwise, we're not going to be able to do what we need to do to get through this area.
My nation, God.
That spell is pretty OP. I love it. It takes a long time to gather up all the Skyborn might you need to use it, but it is really, really effective. And if you use the right benedictions and right pendants, it probably can one-shot any boss. I don't have all of the benedictions I need at this stage of the game. So, okay, so to deal with these lotus priests, we can use the cannons to kill 2 of them You have to shoot them 2 or 3 times. This should do it. Yeah. Sometimes it's 2 and sometimes it's 3. I'm not quite sure why that is. Okay, so the other ones we can't hit with this cannon. Bird. Oh, there you are. Okay, took care of that guy. Okay, so what we can do is go to the other side of this little platform. There is a... I can't remember whether it's a chest or a spell. I think it's a spell. If my notes are correct, it's a spell that we can get from over here as well. There's another cannon on the other side of this smaller platform, and that's the one that we're going to use to take out one of the other priests. Okay, I'm just trying to think of what my strategy is going to be. Okay, yeah. That's the spell, which is a good spell. Oh, we really should... Before I started engaging this guy, I should have killed the dog first anyway, but he's going to throw those things at us, but the cannon will protect us. Of course, ran out of cannonballs. No worries. And that should do it. So there's one more down here, but there's another one of these priests up the steps to our right. And we should kill that one first. The one on the far side, on the other side of the fire, it doesn't really see us, or at least doesn't react to us. I tried to see if I could hit him, but it doesn't hit him. I mean, he doesn't react at all. Would have been nice if I could get him, but I think the fire is actually, that little campfire in the middle is actually blocking the shot. At least I'm assuming that's what's happening, since we can't take him out from here. But there is one up the steps, and we can take that one out. Yeah, and you should, where the hell is he? Oh, there he is over there. You should be quick because he's going to conjure these guys up. Yeah. And once you take him out, all of the things he conjures will go away. You're going to take this one out. And there's a dog and a couple of other enemies down here. Regular enemies. These guys keep dodging my little fire face thing. There we go. Okay. Not too bad. The cannon just makes it easier to deal with them. I'm guessing you can also go and melee each one of them before the other ones catch on and summon those little phantom creatures that they summon. Okay, so we have we're going to unlock doors that lead back to this area a little bit later. Yeah, this door doesn't open from this side. Okay, we have one of these sort of bird guys over here, different kind of bird guys than the other avian ones we fight, and that we will be fighting again. This one uses frost. Even though he's got like a little fire weapon, he actually uses those things, which we picked up in Cloudspire. Okay, so we can grab a brilliant red feather, and whatever this is, another red mercury. Okay, and then there should be a ladder for us to climb out of this area. In order to unlock that door we couldn't lock, we have to sort of work our way through another part of the temple complex. Okay, so we're going to continue to work our way through the building to make sure we grab all the loot that we can find. I hear something down here. Okay, so we have a couple of easy enemies. We have a doggy. Okay. Yeah, the enemies in this little section aren't too difficult. Got some lotus seed. And one of the things about the game that is always pretty interesting is how connected everything is. The design on this is... Oh, you're hiding out over here. The design on this is pretty amazing. How everything connects. You know, unlike some of the other Souls game where in order to get from one part to the other, a giant eagle picks you up and flies you there, or you open a chest and you get transported there. In this game, everything is connected, although there are some areas where you can be transported to. If you open a couple of those doors and you answer the question wrong, it's going to transport you somewhere else. But you can also get there by not being transported. Like that grotto area, you can get to that without being transported there. Or you can answer the question a particular way and end up transported there. So here, to move forward, we're going to have to drop down to that little bridge. But I don't see, I'm just trying to make sure I don't see any other sparklies in here that I need to retrieve before I do that. No, I think we've gotten everything we can get from this little area. We're going to run into more of the Lotus Priests, as well as one of those other bird creature guys. And then we'll get to an area where there's a lot of stuff going on. And we will be fighting a boss in this episode. Just in case you're wondering if I'm just going to be wandering around for 2 hours. Okay, so we go through this little bridge which connects us to the next building. And there are a couple of enemies in here. This little guy who's, I don't know what he's doing. And then there's a exploder off to the right. Grab this item and make our way to the other side. Okay, I don't think we're alone. I think there's something else in here. Okay, we have another item back here, but oh, here we go. I was gonna say, I know I heard something in here. A number of these little traps. If you take your time and get the timing right, the traps shouldn't be a problem. The traps, however, can be helpful if you can get enemies to chase you back to the traps. Okay, well, that just was me rushing through the whole trap thing that I shouldn't have rushed through. But yeah, if you can get the enemies to chase you, they will usually stop on the tracks, on those traps, and they'll end up dying. They're not smart enough to either run straight through or anything like that. So any enemy that you can kite over to one of these things is good. I mean, the game sets it up so there are not a lot of enemies that you can do that with. You can do it with one of the bird guys. You can do it... What's the other enemy you can do it with? There's a pot lady, I think, who follows you pretty far. And it really depends on how far you can kite them, because in a couple of cases you might have to get them to run pretty far after you. And you might even be able to get your inner demon to run across one of these as well. You know, sometimes they appear at the most inopportune times, and if you happen to be around one of these things, perfect idea to... okay. Perfect idea to sort of kite them over here. Yeah, this is probably my sloppiest progression through these traps. Usually I'm pretty good. I get the timing right, and I never get hit. I think I'm sort of rushing through it. We have a few of these sort of minor infected enemies. They won't come down the steps for some weird reason. But to be honest with you, it's just easier to use fire or go up and just whack them. I mean, they're not strong enemies. Yeah, the burn proc on him killed him. So you don't, at least I wasn't able to instant kill him, but the burn effect would have gotten him. He didn't have a whole lot of health left, and so the burn would do it. Okay, 2 for the price of 1. That works. Okay, so we can, without interruption, scour the rest of this area up top. Yes, so there's another one of those bird guys. He's inside this little building. He won't come outside to chase you, but he will. He can use his, I guess those are spells that he uses, and knock you off the edge on the other side if you're not paying attention over here. So if you get close enough and he actually sees you, you can get knocked off. I don't intend to get knocked off, so. But I also don't intend on going into this room either, so what you can do is you can go up to the entrance to the room, which is off ahead, over here. Just to the left up this little plank. Yeah, okay, so that was dumb. So the idea wasn't to go into the room, but to stop at that little plank. And then kite him to the window and kill him that way. So anyway, I heavily edited, so you guys missed that part, but he was hiding a golden chest. That heavy edit, by the way, was a mistake. I wasn't supposed to edit all of that out. Yeah, you can kite him to come over to one of the openings and just shoot through the opening without going into that room. That's the other way to get him if you want to just cheese him to death. I don't think there's anything else in this. Oh no, I'm wrong. There's an item there, and there's an item on the outside. Okay. Now I think we have everything in this room. There's a bird. I see the bird ahead. There's an NPC that we're supposed to meet here, but I think I goofed her quest. I'll explain it when I get to where she should be. Okay, we're in that room with a door that we couldn't open from the outside. And because we didn't reset the world, when we open that door, there shouldn't be anything living moving around out there. But if we had reset the world, all the Lotus Priests would be back. And so as you get later in the game and you have more mana uses, you end up having to sort of reset less and less. Not only that, you also have consumables that will give you health. You have a pendant that will give you health upon killing enemies. And so with all of that, the only time you might want to go back is if you have enough to level up and you're afraid of losing it. So it just depends on how risk averse you are. I tend to be fairly risk averse, so I don't like carrying around, I definitely would never carry around 2 levels. I might carry around a level, maybe a level and a half, but I'm not going to ever carry 2 levels around. I've played too many Souls games to have my heart broken by losing all of my runes, all of my mercury, all of my whatever the currency is in a particular game. Okay, so that was a waste of that spell. What I learned is the Echo of Dutanga, which I think I used a little bit and then sort of put it aside and stopped using it, is probably the more effective spell against these guys. Because you can easily poise break them and proc fire on them at the same time. Ouch. Okay, buddy, you got me. Yeah, for some reason, I guess because I wasn't really interested in... wasn't interested in playing as a melee character, I just didn't use that. Later in the game, I use it a little bit more. Okay, all I have to do is hit you one more time. There we go. And once you clear these spaces out, if you die or you have to come back through them for any reason, you can just run past a lot of the enemies. Yeah, there's no reason to fight them over and over and over again unless, you're trying to get experience points or the red mercury in order to level up. That's the sound of the trap that we've already sort of been past. So now we want to go up top. Where we're going to be dealing with, who are we dealing with up top? We're dealing with a despair priest. He's all the way at the end. If you walk out there and he sees you, he'll start walking towards you. And then you can just either use fire or quickly. If you quickly kill him, then it won't be a problem. If you take your time lingering, then and you don't have a armor set that sort of negates despair, you're gonna die. So I did it. I used a ranged approach to take him out. I don't remember how many of these guys are in here. There's different. There's despair ones. There's the regular lotus ones that just chuck the lotus seeds after you. I think there's another despair one in this room actually. That's the bird that was making the noise. Yeah, there's another despair priest. You can see him. What was that? You can see him in the distance over there. What was that noise? Okay, I'm not sure what that was. You can see him walking around over there. So this room has a series of elevators that allows us to get to the different floors. And we have to, as you can see, when you do that, you should lower that walkway so you can walk all the way to the other side around the center point. Whoa, whoa, my despair thingy is filling up. Oh, there's an item over there. Okay, got him. So we want to make our way forward and across that walkway that we just lowered. In this room, there are different stairwells that you can take. Oh, there's a guy over there. That must have been the guy. I heard some noise. It must have been him swinging at me. I guess you don't really have to kill him since he can't really get at you. Okay, so the ceiling above is on fire. That's what you see. You see embers dropping from the ceiling. You know, if you're wondering what that is, like, what is that stuff? We will eventually go all the way up to the top. I'm going to grab this item. You can see the two walkways are closed off right there. So there's another lever that we have to pull in order to open those walkways up. So we're going to go straight across. That's a stairwell, one of the stairwells I mentioned. You have to be really careful. See that spot down there? We're actually... Yeah, we're eventually going to end up down below as well. When we are finished, we're going to end up at the bottom floor because we'll exit that way. That spot below with the candles, one of the NPCs should have been there reciting some kind of mantra. And she's not there, which means I messed part of her quest up. I know I did a chunk of it. She was the lady who was in Cloudspire in one of the little cabins. I talked to Li Wuzhen on my way to the palace. I gave him a tome and he gave me something to give back to her. I didn't take whatever he gave me back to her before a certain point. And she has disappeared. I don't know whether that means she'll become hostile later on, but she's gone. And I did look for her when I got to that spot, and I realized, wait a minute, I need to go back and, do something for her quest. I did go back and look everywhere she was, and I couldn't find her. She's supposed to be, this is one of the, maybe the only time you can actually summon two people to assist in a boss fight. It should be her and Nian who would assist you in a particular boss fight. And so, because I messed her quest up, she will not appear in that boss fight. There's an item back there, but there's also a jar lady back there somewhere. Yeah, I don't know how I messed her quest up. I just can't figure out how I did that. I've been trying to be really, really careful not goofing on the quest lines. But I think the deeper you get into the game, the easier it is to sort of goof up quest lines, especially when they introduce new NPCs. Because there are new NPCs that you'll meet. We met one last episode. We gave him a letter. He disappeared once we reset the world. I don't know where I'll see him again. But he's another one who could potentially become someone you end up having to fight. I'm Try not to get blighted by these poison globules that are flying around. I think the church, I almost said church lady, the jar lady is in, I think, the one on the left. That lone one sitting off to the left, I think is where she is. And she's every bit as annoying as all the other ones we fought. It's funny, just when you begin to miss them, like, oh wow, I haven't seen one in a while, the game puts one in. And I don't guess it matters, because I think if you get close enough to that item, she'll appear anyway. And she won't come up the steps. So if you get to the steps, though my lock-on has me jerking all over the place. Yeah, if you get to the steps, she won't follow you. Ooh, okay, she can spit light through the steps. Okay, good. Okay. So we saw this from above. We saw the item in the middle that we have to make a gesture in front of, and then there's some loot items that we can take. But I think there's an enemy in here. This is the guy who's walking around, but not a problem. There's an elevator in this room as well. So this is the just making sure there's nothing else, but this is the gesture item. So pay your respects. I guess it means worship. Okay, cool. Apparently this is a pretty rare item. The first time we got it in a game, and I don't think we get it again. And sometimes when I'm having boss fights, I just blow through these things thinking I'm going to get more of them, and I don't. Now there's a avian bird guy ahead, and if you just ran out here, he would swoop down on you and grab you. So I know that, so I'm going to bait him to jump down, and then I'm going to run away from him, of course. Okay, so I've sort of chipped away at his health. Interesting, he would come into the room. I'm not sure why he didn't come in this time. I don't know why he didn't come in. So I don't think there's any items off to the left or right. They're dead ends. And then when you head down the steps, just checking, but I'm pretty sure. Oh no, I'm wrong. There is an item. Right? Mine lotus seed. Always worth checking. If you're not sure, it's always worth it to check. Okay, so the building ahead, we have to open a shortcut. I don't know whether it opens from this side, though. We may have to... Well, we'll find out in a second. So there's this door, but this is not what I'm referring to. I'm referring to the building ahead. This is another... This was a door we couldn't open from the other side near one of the cannons. But there's no one alive over there. There's a door here that leads back to... Oh no, we can open it. Alright, leads back to a shrine. There we go. So if you need to reset, you can. But we weren't really done with that building, so I probably shouldn't have reset. Oops. Sorry about that noise. I just bumped into my microphone. And because we reset, that bird man that we just killed is back as well. So just bear that in mind if you reset the world, either to level up or just because you need your mana charges back. All the enemies will be back. He's off to the right, but we're going to go left to see whether there's any loot that we need. Yeah. Okay, there's loot. We're going to end up back in that building ahead. We didn't explore all of it. We did the middle to lower floors. But there's that upper area where the fire was, and we will be exploring that as well. So we're going to take out the bird guy, only because he's just going to be annoying. And there is an area that we need to drop down on to get that item that was on the statue behind the shrine. So there's another method to the madness of having to kill this guy. Now it's funny because you think if they're avian that they'd be able to fly back up here, but he can't. He'll stay down there. Okay, so we have some lore, and then we have an item, and we have an area we can drop down to, and if we miss landing where we need to land in order to get the item, we can climb back up. So that's why you would knock the ladder down. It's not a... Well, I guess in a way it is a shortcut, because if you don't knock the ladder down and you miss that item, you'd have to run around, climb the other ladder, and then drop down again. At least this way, all you have to do is just climb back up. It's not exactly a leap of faith, but you really can't see. There we go. So you really can't see where you're landing, but I guess as long as you don't land on the floor, you can still get the item. So you got the demon pendant, which is actually pretty good for enhancing, I think, fire spells, which will come in handy late game. There's the avian guy out there. And because of where he is, we do have to take him out in order to progress. So when we leave here, we're gonna head off to the right. Assuming I don't die. Okay. All right, we were out here before, but we took a quick, when we ran through the gate, we took a quick right and climbed the ladder. This time around, we're going to take another quick right. We're not going to deal with those guys yet. Let them fight each other. There's a Palace Maid mini-boss that we need to fight. Oh, buddy, you're trying to... Okay, I get it. I see how this works. Okay. See, that guy almost got me killed. Well, he did get me killed. Alrighty. Okay, let's try not to die this time. I don't know whether I made the full circuit over here. Yeah. Alright, so there's nothing there. So we have the Palace Maid who joined in with her buddy to kill me the last time. We have those guys fighting. That's the way forward where those guys are fighting. So there are a couple of those avian guys fighting soldier guys. There are a couple of infected hiding away as well. Off to the right of the maiden is the area that is the area where the guy was on the tower shooting at us that we couldn't get to when we were entering this whole area. It was one of the it was a camp, a rebel camp. I think it was called the main rebel camp. So we can take him out as well. But first things first. Let's try dealing with her. Okay, so I was going to try to fight her conventionally, but it seems like when you get close, she just wails with her little staff thingy at you. And having already died to her little corruption thingy once before, no desire to do that again. So we just slowly chipped away at her health. She's going to keep... We can keep playing Ring Around the Rosie, right? She doesn't do anything other than what she's doing now. Every once in a while, she'll spray the corruption balls like she did. And she's laughing, even though she doesn't know how close to death she is.
Take this.
One more hit and that should do it, assuming she doesn't dodge it.
Take this.
We'll say there's a couple of areas in the game where the environment actually helps you if you're struggling with a particular boss or mini boss. That's not always true, but in this particular case it was. And she wasn't really hiding anything in here. So I guess, you know, we got the XP. item. I see one of these soldier guys walking towards me. Okay, guess he changed his mind. Took care of the bird. Any of the ones that sort of survived the fight that was going on when we walked into this area, they should all be pretty low on health. Which is the benefit of watching them sort of beat on each other. Actually, this one isn't all that low on health, as low on health as I thought. Trying to get him to come over so I can just snipe him from above. He won't climb the ladder. Again, the benefit of using the environment as your friend. I think the most surprising element about this is that when you're fighting the avian guys, they won't fly up and get you, even though they have wings. I noticed that when we were in the avian dwelling, that if you ran away from these guys, they would just simply run after you. The elite ones that swoop down on you, maybe they just glide, they don't really fly, because they do swoop down, which means they were above you. That's the guy off to over here, off to the left a little bit, is the guy that was shooting at us from this particular tower. Yeah, we couldn't reach. So if we can get the sneak on him, that would be good. But if we can't, then, well, we'll just snipe him to death. And he's got some loot next to him. I'm not sure what it is. So you can sort of see, semi-see how things were connected before. So when we came in down the side of the mountain cliff off to the left, down a ladder, into the rebel camp. We worked our way through the rebel camp, ended up going back a little bit into the mountain through a cave to get to another little area before coming back here and working our way through to get to the temple. Okay, that works. The area below is where we were. Now we're going to go back into this upper, looks like the upper level of this temple area. Actually, it's not really the upper level of the temple. It's just a a different little pavilion. And we're going to work our way to the right where those guys were fighting, pick up any loot that we see. Check down here. I don't think, oh no, yeah, every time I say I don't think there's anything down here, there's something down here. So we're going to go up the steps. Doesn't matter which ones you go up, actually. If you go up the right steps and then head right, you'll be heading towards the boss. If you go up the middle one, you have to head right anyway, because there's a little groove, little side area where there's a giant that you have to fight. So if you could get the backstab, that would be good, but this one I couldn't. By now, you know, these enemies will seem easy compared to some of the other ones that we've faced in this area. They're slow moving. They pretty much telegraph every move. He sidestepped my little fire thing. Okay, so we do it the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I think my sword is at a level, short sword is at a level 6 or 7. I think I'm quite at 8. But the bone needles make it stronger. So it does damage, but like I said, because it's a short sword, you have to get up close and personal, and I'm sort of playing as a mage, although more and more like a battle mage. And with Leech, if I put Leech on, it sort of helps. It doesn't really help against mini bosses though, because they chip your health down so much faster than you gain health from using Leech. So not really all that beneficial with this particular build. Maybe with armor it might help. Okay, so we've scoured, we've looked to make sure there was nothing else that we were missing, and now it's time to face the boss. We kick this ladder down, it leads back to an area that we saw earlier in the game. When we first came into this area from the first time we came from the refugee camp. And this boss is another electricity-based boss. He moves around pretty fast.
I'll present you with matter. My father is resurrected.
Fire seems to be working. So you should definitely use armor that is either lightning resistant or paralysis resistant. Either one.
The Salt, General Birkin!
Yikes. There is a consumable you can use as well. You just don't have time to use it. So if you end up paralyzed, I don't know how they expect you to use that consumable. See, I was trying to heal and he got me. So he moves pretty quick. You have to understand the timing of his particular moves. If you understand the timing, you heal at the right time, and you should be fine. So since he likes getting close and personal, I decided to temper my weapon. I probably should have waited to do that. Oh yeah, by the way, he has a gun.
When father is resurrected.
He's pulling a Ishin Sword Saint kind of a deal. The spell I'm using is the one I found earlier in this area. It gives you a little bit more invincibility. But the sword I'm using also gives you significant invincibility when you're doing the evasive maneuver.
Stones asunder! The Salt, General Birkin!
So if you can time where he's going to land when he makes his second pronouncement,
The Salt, General Birkin!
That move, he should be close enough to you for you to hit him if you sort of space yourself out right.
The Assault! General Birkin!
That move. He will shoot you when you do that, by the way. The lightning bolts are fairly easy to dodge. It's his little...
Assault! General Birkin!
This move, it was always catch me earlier, and I wasn't being all that patient. Now I decided, alright, you know what? He's going to keep... He doesn't really change anything. He's just going to spam that move. And just be prepared to get some hits in when he gets close. Don't worry so much about chasing him around the arena because he's just going to shoot at you. Try to bait his little speed move, like this next move, this one.
Thunder above!
Of course, I didn't get any hits in him because he's spazzing out.
Thunder!
Yeah, when he jumps up in the air, which he seems to only do later in the fight, second half of the fight, you want to dodge pretty quickly as well. Okay, now he's just being annoying.
Father's return! Thunder above!
Yeah, he definitely gets more aggressive at the second half of the fight. Just using the same technique to chip away at his health. I can't really tell whether I proc fire on him. I don't think that's true right now. Try to get some distance so I can heal. Alright. This little ephemeral form thing only lasts for about 4 or 5 seconds. So it doesn't last very long. So if you're close, you can absorb one hit. Whoa, he caught me with that one. So that's the paralysis thing. He sort of procced on me for a little while. Okay, this is good. I should do it. Yep.
Such skill.
Not too bad. It took me... I think it took me 3 tries total to beat him. And I guess he's a historical figure since he doesn't disappear once you kill him. That's one of the changes in the game, is that they don't disappear, they just appear to be tired. If you reset the world, he'll disappear. And this area does not have a shrine. I guess it doesn't really need one because it's fairly close to where the other shrine is. But it's the only thing in here. There's nothing else to pick up. It's dark as hell back there. Okay. And this will lead us eventually to one of the other gates to the refugee camp. Remember when we were in the refugee camp, there were multiple doors that we needed to unlock from the other side? This will lead to one of those doors. We have a little birdie. We can take one of its feathers. We have an item that we can only get from a drop down. All right, so we follow this little path. It's going to loop over the rooftops. Can't go that way. This is the one that loops around. So there are two ways that you can go once you get to the other side. Make sure you pick up any loot that you might find. Okay, this direction leads us to the refugee camp, but our buddy Mian is here.
Prey. Ugh, just forget it. I'm bigger than you, and won't argue over spilled milk. Did you hear? They resurrected Zhan Xiongdong. Even in death, that miscreant crawls back to cause havoc. If it's Shen Yenzhong's head you're after, count me in. Whistle once when you're ready, and I'll be there post-haste.
So he's telling us that he will be available for the next boss fight. And as I mentioned before, there's another NPC that we met in Cloudspire who was supposed to be there for that fight as well. And for the life of me, I can't figure out how I goofed her quest out.
Let me make an assessment. If you've got more than you need, don't forget to drop by and support my humble business.
Hey, you made it. Got some new stuff for you. Oh, there's a fortune hidden in those waters. A real catch, I'd say. Huh? You've heard the rumors, too. Thieves grabbed what they could and tossed the rest into the depths. Bah! That's all hogwash. If those rebel dogs had that kind of loot, why are they still ransacking temples and butchering folks left and right? I'll scour the riverbed for plunder when I've got the time. If the rumors are true, we'll make a right fortune together. Come back soon, you hear?
Have you found a way to save Pops? There's finally a chance. I'll give it to him at once.
Okay, so we've at least progressed her quest. She's the only one of the 3 kids that has survived. Which means we should see her again later. So we're going to make our way in the opposite direction of where we were. We see an item in the distance that we need to get. Right, we saw that item earlier, and it's a drop-down item, so we can't get it from here. But as we work our way through another little, very short area, we'll be able to drop down. We had 2 directions we can go. One direction was towards the camp, and the other direction... Huh. Oh, the other direction is around this way. There we go. Down below is where we just got through fighting the boss. Okay, we got someone who wants to fight us up here. So let's get to a point where he can't knock me off. Okay, that works. Those guys fighting below are the same guys that we've already dealt with. You know, when we went to the camp and reset the world, then everything comes back, so we don't have to deal with them again. Yeah, there are lots of little nooks and crannies in these temple buildings. So you want to make sure that you explore the outer walkways as well as the inner walkways. So we have another despair priest. Yeah, we wanted to make that a little bit easier than the last one. Spending a lot of time on each one of those guys is ridiculous because they're very weak. As long as they don't see you coming, you have a little bit of time. Actually, you have time to kill them before you end up dying of despair. I think we have everything on this level. I don't see anything else sparkling. We have a bandit down there waiting for us. So we have a couple of these avian warrior guys down below. Right, no, not warriors, elites. I'm not crazy enough to go down there and try to fight them. And they can't come up here, so what we're going to do is snipe them from above. And then we can hop down and see what they were doing down there. Yeah, we want to drop down on this. Got it. I don't know whether you die if you fall all the way to the bottom. Yeah, you probably do. You probably do. From here, you can just drop down. I'm trying to check to see if there are any other enemies in the room, but I don't think they are. I think it was just those guys. Get closer to the ground before I drop, but I don't think this is going to kill me anyway. And we can grab any loot that we see, including this little chest over here. And Cloud Piercer is a nice little spear. I haven't used the spear since early in the game. I think it's the first weapon you get in the game, other than what you start the game with. And so I used it for a little while, but not that long, until I got the first short sword, and I've been using that ever since. So there's nothing else to do down here, and you can't, there are no doors to open, so you're just really down here for the loot and for that weapon, and then you climb back up. Yeah, those that particular avian bird type is a little bit more dangerous than the first ones that we encountered in the game, which were much slower. Here we have another terrified villager here somewhere. You don't know where he's hiding, but he's in here somewhere. Yeah, these buildings, the ones that you can enter at least, you know, really require you to scour through them. Now, here on the outside, there is an avian guy, and there is a lotus priest. They're both across the way. The lotus priest is on the top roof. I think there's two of them up there. Yeah, because I can hear the lotus thing coming my way. So there are two of them up there, and then there's the avian guy below. Well, looks like there's only one. Okay. They're gonna be annoying as heck because the one above is gonna keep doing that. Avian guy. That's what happens if they catch you. And so I think you want to take out the avian guy first. You can deal with him, although I don't know whether you really have to. Okay, there we go. I mean, to be honest with you, we could have just run into the building. That's where we're heading. think we've been in this building. We're just approaching it from a different side. As you'll see when we get in, we're working again. We were working our way up to the top. We came into the building on the other side, and then we worked our way down, and then exited the building. From this side, we're going to work our way up. I think we're going to pull this lever to lower the walkway here, just like we did on the other side. I'm running to make sure there's no despair priest. I don't think so. Usually you can see them glowing. I didn't see one. The one that walks around the center thing. I think we killed that one. So we want to work our way through. Well, the way the path works is when you go, you can only go across, because when you pull the lever, the other paths close off. Actually, that's not true. Oh, okay. Alright, cool. This works. There's the bird that was making all that noise. Be quiet, bird. I was reading. There's another bird in here somewhere. An item, a couple of items below. Check and see what's on the other side. But it looks like if I drop down, I can come back up. So it doesn't look like it's going to be too... At least I don't think is going to be an issue. Yeah, no, this should be good. Grab this item. Oh, there's the other guy. Okay, so he was on the lower level. We've been on that level before. That's where he was. There's a guy walking around the middle. It was that guy. We killed him earlier, and when we reset the world, he came back. Okay, we don't have to worry about him anymore. There is a... Was the only reason we came down here for that item? We have another item here, but just seems... Oh, maybe, okay. My little notes aren't all that clear here. There's so many... Actually, since there's so many, there are only a couple of levers to pull. There's another lever that connects to an elevator. Okay, so we need to go back up to where we were before we drop down. I don't think there's another place for us to go on this level. This you have to be careful because you can fall off. It's a drop off. And you'll die. It's not a drop off, but you'll survive. So you want to grab this item. It's easy to just walk off because it looks like all the other stairs in a game. So that was the other reason we were on this side. So with that, we now have everything from this particular side of the map. I've been through here a couple of times because I was looking for the NPC that wasn't where she was supposed to be, and thought maybe I missed her somewhere else in the temple, but no, she's not here. So I've actually looked through this place a couple of times. Okay, well, before I go across that landing, let me look at these steps, since I don't think we've been down these before. Otherwise, those crates would have already been broken. I hear a trap. Okay, we have one of those bird guys across the walkway. Now, if we can... I cannot be stuck on the environment. If I can kite him over here to get him to run across the traps. Of course, none of that actually hurt him. Oh, ouch. Yeah, those spikes absolutely do hurt. If I can get him to run across the traps, it'll kill him. Where are you, buddy? Oh, he's walking back. I need to go and re-engage him slightly. Come here. Oh my god. So you can see how those spikes can actually potentially kill you. And just like it did him, so he's dead now. Okay, now let's see if I can make it back across without getting killed, and then go into the building he was standing in. Oh my god. That's... wow, this is turning into be a slight nightmarish. Alright, we're gonna grab this chest. They usually have something decent in it. Okay, so we have another benediction. the leech guy here who decided to ambush us. Now we haven't been that way because there's a bird over there and we would have definitely killed him. But to our right is another lever. That lever is the elevator lever. We're going to check it all out, but that's... The elevator's right there. And then you have this stuff. I promised in an earlier episode that if we come across another one of these, I would go across it. I wouldn't skip it. I skipped the first one because it was like, oh my god, having Elden Ring PSTD with having to walk across the invisible bridges. We're just doing this to activate the elevator, make sure it works from below. We were in this room before. This is where the little thing that we had to hit the worship emote for is. It's on the other side of this thing in the middle. The door's open, so we don't really have anything else to do down there. So it looks like we're going to take the invisible path. I remember early in the game, there was one of those little green things that I guess indicated there was an invisible bridge. And I didn't know what that meant. I thought it was something that you had to swing on, and I totally skipped it. But you can get to the other side without using it, which is what I did. In this instance, you can't. There's a door over there that you need to activate. You can't activate it unless you take the invisible path. I don't think it changes the outcome of the game, but I don't know. You have to be really careful. I could get that one, but I think I'll get it on the way back. Or not. Okay, so from this one, okay, go to the other one. I'm looking at my notes and I thought I was going to the other one first, but nope, this one. And then the green thingies are pretty straightforward. I mean, your heart rate is up the entire time you're doing this. And you just want to follow the green path. Yes, there's an item. We'll get that item. It's in front of the door. But the walkway seems to be wider than the Elden Ring walkways. Because those, I mean, if you take just one little step and you just fall to your death. This one doesn't seem to be as unforgiving. You go straight, and then using geometry, you just keep making straight lines. And you have to reverse this pathway to get back across, by the way. So you want to go towards where the item is, because you know, right. And then once you get the item, you can just walk over and you open the door. Which of course causes Wuchang to take 2 steps back. And we have a despair guy in there. This is just perfect. I mean, you're trapped. It's not like you can easily get away from him by running away like I usually do. So you have to prepare and then go in and get the kill pretty quickly. I don't know who else is in here. Okay, so Despair Priest done. And we're going to go in and grab that chest ahead. Because I don't know if there's anyone else in here. I figured let's just be safe. Oh, we know there's a dog in here. Hey, buddy. What are you doing here? I think I've gotten all of the chests in the game. I don't think I've missed one. Actually, I shouldn't say that because I didn't do the other invisible walkway, and if that led to one of these, then that would be the only one I would have missed in the game so far. I mean, technically, there's nothing that prevents me from going back and trying to do it. I guess I could do that, but we'll see. Yeah, it's just as terrifying going back as it was coming here. But you want to take the same strategy, which is to make straight lines towards each of these little, I don't know what you call these little things, these little markers. And it's certainly tempting to just walk straight ahead, but that's not how we got here, so... Maybe you could have, I'm not sure. I'm just following the exact pathway that got me here. I figure I can't go too wrong with that. So we get to this note, which we've read. Now we're going to go to the other note, which we haven't read. And from there, I was just trying to make sure that I shouldn't walk straight there. From there, you make the right, and you walk to the other, to that marker. I guess maybe you could just walk right to the little ramp. Yeah, I guess you could, because clearly it's wide enough, but I didn't want to take a chance. Whew. Okay, so that's done. We don't have to do it ever again. I shouldn't say that, because I don't know whether there's another one later in the game somewhere. But at least that's done, and we got a flask upgrade because of it, which is good. So it wasn't a waste of time. And so now the question is where to go next. Okay, grab this item. Well, we still haven't been up. There's another level above we haven't been to yet. I don't know whether we can get there from here. Or maybe you have to enter from another space. The way these buildings are connected, you can't always get to the floor above within the building. We have another one of those bird guys over here who is apparently chilling out all by himself. It's funny, I use that spell, by the time I actually fight the guy, the spell is no longer active. Some space to heal. Yeah, I mean, I used that spell and it's like, okay, why did I use it if I was going to just send it? Because I only have like 4 seconds. And I think I used it and probably took all of that time. Run myself into a corner, not good. Okay, really not good since he can hit me through. Alright, you stay right there, buddy. That's okay. You stay right where you are. I wanted to get past you anyway. What were you hiding over here? So we're gonna... I wonder if he stays where he is or whether he returns. He probably returns to this room. I think that's the way all this stuff, all these types of things are written, is that the developers mean for them to return to their starting positions. So I was waiting to see if I see him walking back. But we know the way forward is... Oh, well, we have an item over there. Is the rooftop. I still don't see him. I don't think he died because he didn't fall off of anything and there are no traps over there. So, don't know where he is. Okay, we have one of these rebel warrior guys in here.
My nation. God.
I don't know where the bird guy is. Maybe he... I don't know. I don't know what happened to him. But you know what? That's cool. Just made it a little bit easier for me, so... Don't sneak up behind me. Just making sure he doesn't just sneak up right behind me. Because we didn't kill him, and like I said, there was no fall-off point, so unless... I was mistaken about where I first saw him, and he reset to wherever that was, then I don't know where he is. Alright, so we're not going to worry too much about it. I don't remember how many mercury thingies you get from killing him anyway. Alright, we have another trap, and an item on the other side of the traps, and a little poison bowl right here. We'll work our way back through the traps. Continue our exploration of this temple. So, sorry, looks like it was worth it after all. There's another chest over there. Lost remains. Nope. Okay, the bird guy's back. I don't know where he disappeared to and where he actually is. Yeah, I have no idea where he went. But he's not dead. Okay, so, oh, wait, there he is. Okay. Okay, found the bird guy. It was weird because I didn't remember him. Well, I guess he was up here because when you went up and you look to your right, he would have been sitting behind a little partition type thing. Figured fire wasn't really working. Let's try frost, and I decided to switch back to fire. Okay, now I feel better about the area. I'm like, okay, now I feel like it's complete. Because before, when I came back past this little symbol thing, he wasn't there. So it's really strange. Maybe it took a while for the AI to figure out where he was and to paint him back into that particular scene. You can see the shadow above, that there's an enemy up above us. So when we climb that ladder, we're gonna have to deal with some enemies. We have Lotus Priests. We probably have Despair Priests as well. I can't imagine it's just one Lotus Priest on the other side of the... Yeah, no, there's Despair there, Despair in front of us, Lotus across the way. Yeah, once we take out the other Despair guy, the other ones, we can actually run into that building. They're just going to keep chucking those Lotus things at you. So you can try to hit them from a distance. Yeah, we're going to get this guy. Get back out of the way of those. And we can make our way around. there's a despair guy that we'll be able to see below us, and there are the two above, but we don't need to fight them if we don't want to. We are in the building, which is where we need to be, and we need to work our way across the rafters. Okay, so we got one of the two. We don't need to deal with the other one unless we really want to spend half a day trying to get them this way. If you're playing purely melee, you wouldn't get them anyway, so you would just leave them alone. And there's this despair guy below. We can sort of try to kill him just because we can. We don't need to. We've already been down there. There's a bird in here somewhere. What the hell is that? Oh, there he is. Okay. You got him. Now, as we attempt to cross the rafters to get to that item on the left, a bandit's going to start shooting at us. Oh, that's the elevator that we activated. But I don't think that elevator comes all the way up here, so it's not going to be helpful if we fall down. Let's see if we can finish this guy off. I don't know why. Yeah, you want to be really careful going across because you will die if you fall. And I don't remember where this will place you if you do die. Actually, I do know where it will place you. It will place you back at the shrine, which seems, even though everything is connected, it doesn't seem far away. But getting back here wouldn't be that easy. Okay, let's ready ourselves for the bandit that I can't quite see. And oddly enough, he doesn't shoot from across the way. He waits until I get on the thing, on this rafter, to start shooting. I see him. Okay. Of course that's not going to reach him. That would be too simple. Be able to reach him from here, though. Right. Okay, he's dead. Alright, so we're going to hang a left and grab that item, and work our way across to where the bandit was. Okay. Okay, now we'll work our way to where the bandit was located, which gets us the exit from this area, or from this part of the building. Actually, I don't think I should have done that, because this is where we've been. I sort of didn't follow my notes and did what I wasn't supposed to do. Maybe there was nothing up there. Don't know because I jumped down. Silly, silly, silly. So, making this loop again, there's only one guy we have to worry about. The idiot over there is going to be chucking those lotus things at us. Everybody else is dead because we killed them when we came through here the first time. Before I stupidly jumped down to, even though I knew I wasn't supposed to do that. Anyway, with the bandit dead, all we need to do is get to the other side. I can't remember whether there's a second bandit over there or not. Okay, so yes, there was a second bandit who decided that life wasn't worth it anymore and jumped down there. Okay, so we are about to wrap this episode up because we are heading into the Pavilion of Knowledge, where we're going to have to deal with a mimic shrine, which we will deal with. We'll activate that shrine and we'll end it there, and in the next episode we'll talk to the storyteller who is just up these stairs. But first things first. This guy is doing sumo wrestler moves on me. No worries, we're not going to actually try to throw hands with him since we would lose that battle. Okay, there we go. Yeah, they're spread out enough that you aren't ever sure how many mimics there are, but the ones that are holding the incense are the real ones. If you saw this before he came alive, he wouldn't have been holding that thing in his hand, which is his incense. So you can always tell the difference. The other thing is the wording will be different. I don't know what this is. Something about blood. I don't know. The wording is different on the mimics versus the real ones. Okay, we're going to level up. We're at level 77, moving into level 78, which probably is about the right level for this. If you've been doing a lot of the side quests and you've been doing those kinds of things, this is probably where you want to be in terms of level. I like to be maybe a little bit over leveled since, you know, this is a squishy character, but, you know, the best spells in the game will be coming up at the end game. And we'll talk about the end game shortly, because there's some decisions that you'll make in this area that will impact the end game for you. It could be you know, if you do one thing, you could be pretty close to the end of the game right here. If you do something different, then you have a little bit more to go. It just depends on your decisioning and your dialogues. I will tell you that, you know, I'll point out where I've messed up different quest lines, just so you understand. I don't know. I have to go back and look at my notes to see which ending I can still get. You know, there is a true ending. There is something called a bad ending, at least as writers would think of it as a bad ending. So anyway, in the next episode, we're going to pick up right where we left off, and we'll get through the rest of this area and fight, I believe, 2 bosses. So until then, thanks for joining me. Please comment. It would be helpful. And more importantly, if you like this video, please subscribe. Uploads every Tuesday and Friday. See you soon. Bye.